one of the things I also wanted to go over for this video was why Spike is better than Daisy. What things Daisy lacks compared to Spike, and I think there are like a lot of small things that Spike can punish that Daisy doesn't, and there are also like things that Spike can defend that Daisy can't. And I think if you were in chat, simple doubles chat, I think Sakuchi also gave like his opinion that um, when he plays his Peach with a Daisy partner, he often has to like retreat just to like cover for what Daisy can't cover. Um, but anyway, there are other things outside of like using Spike instead of Daisy here that definitely could be improved. So I'm not going to be 100% blaming on character choice here. First thing you'll notice here is kind of the positioning. Uh, Bufferin already parks himself right at the net. Angie is more conservative around the T area. Um, this positioning makes it kind of tricky to set up counter volleys as Daisy in this case, mainly because um, it gets pretty difficult to aim to a place where Peach can counter volley Shy Guy's response to my shot, but also have to make sure that I don't hit Peach. Whereas it's a lot less of a concern for Shy Guy since there are a couple things. Shy Guy is short for one, so there's a lot less risk in Spike hitting Shy Guy from behind. And the second part is that he has a lot of room to reposition himself after the ball crosses the net, generally, because I guess the both of us aren't hugging net. So it gets easier for the other team to force lobs. Now, you'll just be seeing like if you kind of watch Spike, he'll be hitting into like the vicinity of where Shy Guy is like a ton. Um, and that's going to be really effective. Yeah, so over here, it's you want to slice here. Uh, I often make that mistake though, but I think a slice volley over here probably could have caused Spike to lunge, just because the flat volley is like a lot slower here. Um, or I guess an alternative, if Peach read that Shy Guy is going to move over here was to flat this way. Yeah, more of this like very conservative like positioning, going back to a T and not like pushing up to hug the net. Um, Even with me like kind of at the baseline, like I think in sides, like yeah, this is like I think Angie's like kind of movement here is a holdover from sides in which like you want to cover your own lobs, which is why she's moving back. But in base net, I think at this point like I could have covered like lobs going towards Angie's side, and if I couldn't cover the lob, that's my fault. So like I think here is like one of the places where I think voice chat would be really beneficial. Because like here I have like two really good options. One is kind of like this double tap topspin over here, like going this way. And the other option, oops, is to hit the single tap topspin. Um, but I think you can kind of notice that like Angie positioned herself like a little behind over here. Um, I don't probably don't want to like read your mind, Angie, but like I kind of position myself like a little away from the net and like in these sorts of situations so that like the baseliner can hit like the single tap topspin without like worrying about hitting the me as a net player. But if you kind of do that, then you'll be out of position to cover like the down the line, which makes it kind of tough. So like if I had voice chat, for example, I could probably like call out if I wanted to hit down the line, and Angie in that case could have moved to the left a little earlier and like caught that flat from a spike. But as it was like with the lag and like without voice chat, she had to like react to me like hitting to the left, while also keeping like the cross court option open, which isn't really ideal. Yeah, so like yeah, this flat, yeah, I think if we had some sort of communication going, it would have been easier to like set up this sort of situation where like Angie goes for the flat and manages to hit it, or even hit like a level two lob from this. Over here, it's like super easy setup for like Angie to kind of like set up the 50-50, just because like Angie has all the room in the world to like move left or right, even though like she's already approaching that. Over here, um, actually not. I think it would have been better for Peach to stay at net. If Daisy was like over here hitting the flat, Peach retreating is fine. But I think Daisy could have like covered Spike's shots, especially since like this was a fairly deep flat. But yeah, yeah. It's like Spike hits like a pretty floppy flat. And I think if like Peach was up there, probably could have gone a little bit more pressure. Yeah. So like at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about like sort of certain situations where Spike would outperform Daisy. This is like one of these situations. Um, like at Spike, I think the flat or topspin here would have like actually secured a point just because it's faster than Daisy's. Daisy's doesn't really have the oomph behind this. Um, so yeah, that's like one of the things that Spike has over Daisy. It's also why I also like Luma um, when playing T against Spike, mainly because like you get like these really fast like jingle top spins that Spike can't even deal with. Yeah, Luma instead of Daisy. If we were playing base net with Luma base, I am not. I dislike that. If we were playing T, I'm cool with that with Luma. Mainly because Luma Luma's lunge really sucks for baselining. Um, if Luma didn't like sail like 20 meters off court, if there's like any high on the ball, then I'd be like, then I think Luma would be like a great baseliner. But yeah, it's just like such a huge liability because you can't really enable net play that well, or else like if you try to retrieve a lob, you just lunge off court and leave like the other person to fend for themselves. But like Luma T is better mainly because Luma doesn't really need to deal with covering uh I guess the partner's lobs as much. In yeah, I think in general like just like as a doubles um fundamental generally safer to aim the ball towards your partner's side um just because then you don't run into a situation where like you can't cover your own side and your partner is way too far away to um, cover the shot for you. But like aiming towards the partner's side, your partner can cover the shot for you in case you miss it. Occasionally, like the flat on your side is good if you can like cause them to lunge, like cause like a free lunge and then and then like you can put it away for the point. Yeah, like sometimes like you can be over here, your partner can be over here, and then you hit like the drop shot over here, and then they read it, and then they slice, and then you lunge, and then you lose a point. Which is why I like doing cross courts a lot more, but sometimes sometimes it's good for like mixing things up. Okay. So here's kind of another example where like I think VC would be good, just because like there are a couple of options for me. There's like hitting it right over here, and there's also like hitting the um, top spin. If I told Angie that I was going to hit the top spin, she'd probably be able to like better position herself for it. Um, this flat angle is super doo doo from me. Um, it's one of the really difficult parts about like trying to aim correctly for like a counter volley setup for your partner if like there's a net hugger is like you really want to like it's like it's really difficult to like aim properly like I needed to like aim over here for Andy um, to properly defend um, and if I hit like the single tap topspin then I'm kind of in danger of hitting Angie unless Angie is like aware that I'm going to be hitting like a single tap topspin over here. And so also the second thing to note is that hitting it towards the net player when you don't have a counter volleyer in front of the opposite net player is really bad. Um, I've seen people do this quite a bit. They just like hit it to the net player as a baseliner. Um, Obviously, after this, they get like two really strong options that Daisy has to read. So you get like the slice or flat away, or you get the lob, and you have to guess. And yeah, so this situation is like my doo doo is a big doo doo that I do, and it's not a doo doo that I should be doing. Like look at this situation. It's like this is like such a floppy shot over here. Um, like you have so much time to like call out what you want to do over here. So like I think for like a lot of neutral situations it'll probably like distract. But like in this situation it's like there's like so much time to okay. Yeah. Let's do it real time. There's like a ton of time to like I literally charge for like a second or like 2 seconds there. So I think in this situation, like I definitely could have called out like, oh, I'm going to like try cross court, and we could have gone like a setup there. I think yeah, like outside of that, like I think you're right in that like it can be like pretty distracting and like um, not productive to do it because it's really difficult to react. But this is like one of these situations where I think you could actually call it out. Yeah, yeah. That lob, yeah. I think that lob, yeah. I should do that more. It's just like Spike is moving to this to the right, so you just lob to where Spike was originally, so you can kind of take advantage of his pivot. Yeah. Here I was thinking that like kind of VC doubling would help a little bit, but like given our earlier talk, it might not be so helpful here. But like um it's like Spike hits like this cross court, but Buffering kind of tried to cover like the down the line first. This is because he was expecting um I think he was like kind of expecting Spike to keep hitting down the line. And then he tries to move back to the left, but then Shy Guy just can't reach this. Um, but again, I guess it also depends on like how fast you can react. If you were using VC doubles, like it might be like a little bit distracting if you try to call it out in this situation because it's still pretty fast. Um, yeah, I think yeah, this is a situation where like Angie, you were talking about being worried about like lobbing versus trying like a passing shot versus Shy Guy, and I think this is like one of the situations where um, kind of got you got scared of Shy Guy counter volleying, so you decided to lob. But yeah, in this situation, yeah, the flat definitely would have won, but again, it's low confidence net play because of input lag and buffering being buffering. I think yeah, we were talking about like in Discord about like Angie retreating. Like this is like one of these times where like retreating is actually good. Which is to cover lob, and it did save our butts a bunch of times. But at the same time, there are some like downsides to retreating as well. So I think should probably experiment more with going full on, full blast net hug, and see how that goes. Like if you play with buffering and like if you play baseline against buffering, like he will cover the cross court option like 90% of the time. So it's like really easy for you to move as a baseliner. Um, and this is like a very safe position to be in as well. And when he moves to the other side, that's when like he does the damage. but you're always going to be like convinced to kind of hit it down the line just because he's always covering cross court. Um, yeah, yes, like hitting down the line is not a winning option versus him. Yeah, you're right. It's like it's the safe option, but eventually he's going to cover that option and delete you for it. I really, I think this is like the one thing that I really don't like um, with the present state of doubles is like the situation where like you can't really hit the ball that far away from the net. So you kind of get this situation where like Shy Guy can just, or like I think it's a bit more dangerous with Peach since she has more reach. But like even Peach can't get the ball through Shy Guy. Like Shy Guy is like actually lunging for like this really deep, um, this really like like severely angled option from Peach, and he's lunging for it. So like the only real option over here, well, you can try and force a lunge, and like that might actually be like the best option, just to force a lunge from Shy Guy. Because Shy Guy doesn't really have the reach to like cleanly hit it. The other option is to lob, which obviously isn't ideal because like Spike is in the middle. I think what Angie did here is probably the most ideal option. It's still not. I don't know. I still don't like the situation in general. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Shy Guy lunges for it, and there's like not even this open court situation since Shy Guy recovers, but I think Spike has to lunge again. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you can't even back up. Like this is another reset of this situation, um, and yeah, this happens. It might be good to experiment with like Daisy being a bit closer up there. Hmm, that might actually work. That might actually be something that we want to try out. It's just like Peach forcing Shy Guy to lunge and then Daisy trying to pick up like the resulting lunge um, shot and like doing like a half volley topspin. Oh, yeah. The alternative to like trying to hit the ball after it bounces from here is like doing what Angie is doing, but this is like you never actually want to hit the ball this close against a net hugger, especially if you're like against an opposing Peach. Like the number of times that I've dunked somebody for lobbing this close as Peach is actually kind of insane. Like there are literally no options that you can do safely this close to net. You actually have to like step back and either lob or try that single tap. So like this situation really sucks. I don't like it. Um, so like you don't really notice it in this match, but like in like a lot of the other matches, I think like yeah, this was like a situation where I think Angie could have just committed to like hard committed to the L2 charge here. You can kind of notice it like yeah, like I start charging over here for the L2, but like Angie start charging like right now. Um, I think in this smash situation, um, just good to commit to L2 lob. There's no reacting to like there's no like L canceling or like movement that would really be helpful and otherwise trying to deal with the smash. Yeah. This is another example of me being bad. Um, so like Yeah. Again, it's a 50-50. Again, I read the incorrect option. I read the flat away, but then Buffering does the lob. Yeah, there's like a lot of room for me to aim uh, in this situation. Without it's mistake to hit to the net player without any counter volley or backing you up, which is why I said like the more accurate description is to like hit towards where your own net player is rather than where their net player is. Um, because then your net player can do the counter volleying. Um, there are a couple of options. It's like I either hit it to like where Shy Guy will lunge, or like I hit it a little further to like where Angie is. Or the boring option is to lob. Definitely not good for me to hit it towards Shy Guy without Peach being there. I'm just thinking, if I was Spike, would have I been able to cover this lob? I don't think so, but yeah. One thing that Spike and PD have over like Yoshi, Daisy, or like any of the other speedies is like their launch range is really good. So like you can often like position yourself like a little bit more towards the middle just because you have that huge burst range option and like cover both options. Um, yeah, in this situation, probably not. Okay, Luma's lunge is actually deceptively slow. Um, it doesn't travel quite as far as it. It's actually like kind of like Daisy's lunge in terms of like effectiveness, I'd say. In terms of like actually lunging to a ball and hitting it. But like Luma actually flies kind of far, but like the actual like hitbox on that lunge becomes inactive pretty quickly. Yeah, in this situation, Spike couldn't have covered this. But I think there are like more situations which Spike can cover with the lunge that Daisy can't, and that's really helpful to offense in general. Yeah, it is like really good drop, and I think one of the things that makes like this drop good is um, like technically like if Shy Guy somehow read the drop and like flatted it over here, then like it would have been difficult for Peach to recover it. But like it's always a good option to throw out. Plus like when Spike has to lunge for it, he's out of court, so he's not in any good spot to try and retrieve like Peach's resulting lob from it. Um, I think it can like it definitely can work. Just like backing up and then like doing a drop. Except I think it works better in the T position, I'd say. Um, mainly because or like if we were playing like actual sides, and we did a drop, I think it'd work a little better there. Mainly because I think as I kind of talked about in Discord, like I tended to like move a little bit more to the back, which left me a little bit more vulnerable to like angles if Shy Guy reads correctly. Um, but yeah, definitely an option if you're playing Peach or someone, and if you have like kind of like this service boxes, I don't know what you call it, height, um, worth of distance between you and the net player, then you can like do a drop. It'll be a pretty good option in general. Yeah. This is like another example of like I would like hard commit to L2 lob here. And I would also hard commit to L2 lob here. But I think, as Angie said, she got kind of tilted. Um, so, understandable. This is horrible from me. I don't know what I was trying to do here. Like, probably should have hit here or hit the lob after the smash knockback from Spike.